Well, good morning. If you'd like to see how we restored this old 12-room bird hotel, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning and welcome to Memphis Monday 369. I'll tell you, the story is about, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 years ago, in Memphis Monday 136, we built a purple martin birdhouse for my brother, and we admitted from the very beginning we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't. The birdhouse was too heavy. It was way up on a pole. It was too heavy. The holes going into the little chambers were too big. It was not very good for a purple martin birdhouse. Well, anyway, we're going to build him another purple martin one, but that'll be a couple weeks from now. But I'm going to take the old purple martin birdhouse we built for him, and let's resto-mod it and see if we can set it up here in the Memphis Applegate Ponderosa. So let's knock off the chit chat and get to work. Well, here it is. It's one of those birdhouses where you can kind of disassemble it. Let me show you. I'll just, it's got these little keepers on here. This is the roof. The second story. And then this first story, and then the connection things under here. But right now it's a real mess. You can see it looks like every little compartment was actually used, but wasn't used by purple martins. Tell you what, let me clean this thing up and try to think of a plan, and I'll bring you back. This is the reason you have trap doors and stuff on birdhouses. You always gotta clean them out. Now I remember when I built these, the notion was that you could take this stuff out. I remember that. And I guess you can. At least that part. Oh, there it goes. Well, what do you know? As advertised. Being able to take those chamber walls out, it's going to make cleaning this up a lot easier. When we took this thing down, the pipe was rusty and we couldn't get it to the pole to come down. So we just reached up there with a couple of long sticks and just pushed the thing off the top of the post. Well, this whole 50-pound thing came tumbling down from the top of the pole, and it actually broke some finger joints. Never saw that happen before. The roof that I had on it was just a single sheet of 1/4-inch plywood that I treated with epoxy resin. It was a bad roof. It only lasted a couple of years. My brother put this on. It's a little heavy, but it's good material. It's waterproof and tough. So I'm just going to sand it off and go from there. These are little chamber dividers. They're really grossed out, and they're bent. They hardly fit in there anymore. So I'm gonna make new ones. I cut out new ones, and what I got to do now is put these slots in them. Let me figure out how we're going to do that, and we'll put the slots in. I don't know how we cut the slots last time, but we're just going to cut them with the bandsaw this time. How this thing goes together is there are cleats that go around the bottom that align the sections, and then the sections are held together with these little locking devices here. I don't know what they're called, spring latches or something, but each layer has one. Each layer, including the top layer, you can see the cleat here and there's cleat here, so that aligns the top on that top layer. Now when we pulled the birdhouse off the pole, that thing fell about 30 feet and it knocked this cleat off on the other side. Let's replace that. Here we're on the other side. This is the new cleat. Now the old cleats were all glued, but I'm not going to glue this one. It was awful hard to get off, and if I just screw it, I'll be able to adjust it and this and that. So what I'm doing here is this little locking device has to have a little deal to hook into. We'll put it about there. And then this little thing will keep the thing secure, so that the wind doesn't blow the thing off or anything. We're going to attach our bird feeder using a rig like this. It's easy to build and it's foolproof. All it is a little box that slides right over one of these 4x4s and holds your deal up. We're going to attach it to some other pole, but we're going to rig one of these up on our birdhouse. Let's get to it. I did try to make this thing light, believe it or not. So this is only 1/2-inch plywood, so it's not real strong. So what I've done here is attach this piece of sheet metal in here, and then on the other side we're going to put this little hard point on the other side of the box and hold it in with these long lag bolts. They're just about as long as our hard point, so that should hold it pretty well. So the first thing to do is temporarily attach this on the other side. Now I'm temporarily sticking this hard point on with these cabinet bolts. Let me show you what they look like. They're bolts like this that got this big head on them. Now this would probably work. It might even work for years, but you never know. You never know. You know, the deal is, if this thing has a long life, you know, this thing can get old and creaky and rotten, and then maybe these things here wouldn't work anymore. So we'll do it, we'll put the big bolts in there. So you can see what I've done here. I've just temporarily attached that, and then put these bolts in. Okay, now I can take these temporary bolts out and put my other ones in. Then around this hard place we just put in, I'm putting this 5/4 deck wood. I'm using these zinc coated cabinet screws we talked about a few minutes ago. I don't really like to use them outside because they're not galvanized or zinc coated. But in theory, this area right here shouldn't get real wet, but it's still not a good idea to use zinc coated outdoors. Okay, I'll go ahead and keep installing this, and then we'll put this thing on a post and see if it works. So that's how she'll sit. I'll pull it down on that post more. I don't want it to get stuck on that post. Okay, let's bring it back in the shop and get it finished. Well, here's what we have so far. I went in and put some poly on it, not poly, stain, just on the outside of me. Okay, I'll go ahead and put some spar urethane on the outside, at least in the parts that are exposed to the weather, and we'll put this baby up. Now, I don't think I need any additional fasteners into this post. I think I can just drive it down on this post here, and it'll be a good press fit. Now, we put that metal washer in there, so I should be able to just kind of pound on it a little bit and See, before this thing was up on a 30-foot post, which made taking it down pretty much impossible. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 369, our Restomod of our 12-chamber birdhouse hotel. It failed as a Purple Martin house because it was too heavy and the door openings were too big. But as just a birdhouse for general use, it's always been a success. Well, I got it set up here at the Ponderosa, and we'll see if we get any nesting birds in here. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 369, our 4th week of our 8th year. Today we took that old so-called Purple Martin birdhouse and we just converted it into a conventional, albeit very large, birdhouse. I can sit right here on the Memphis Applegate deck and watch the families grow over there. I like these kind of projects, so bear with me. Next week, I think we're going to do cutting boards. So if you're sick and tired of cutting boards, you might want to skip next week. But I got to get some cutting boards out, and we'll try to do some things different, some new woods, new patterns, and this and that. But that's all I got for Memphis Monday 369. Like, share, and all that kind of stuff. Most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.